shoulders towards me. There you go. Girls, just come and turn your shoulders towards me. Turn shoulder this way. Up there. Okay, guys,
just like
right
that.
here.
Good posture, everybody.
Okay, 1 second, right here, 1, 2, 3. And everybody, big old family hug, because you guys are all family. Just hugging around each other. Oh, I think, there you go. Not a hug like that. Right here, just look at me.
Dr. Tom, time to wrap up the Facebook Live session. We're going to get her started. Love it. He's doing it a lot. Good evening, everybody.
What's up?
What's up? Welcome to the Better Results Faster Workshop. Good. That's what I'm used to.
That was funny.
So, that's the other, yeah, exactly. So when they convinced me to do this, the first thought that came to my head, I appreciate you saying that, was that I had to beat his tuxedo from last year. So this is what winning looks like.
I dressed out and made you look good.
But yeah, so I got some big shoes to fill. But tonight, Dr. Joe told us is about being vulnerable. And I love that, and now I understand why I'm up here, because I'm not the head coach like Dr. Brettany all weekend. Appreciate you being our MC this weekend.
Yeah, man.
It takes a lot of courage. That's awesome. I appreciate that. So we're going to get to that point. One of my favorite things that Dr. Joe said to wrap up this whole workshop, or this whole weekend really, was understanding that, you know, tomorrow and what we talk about and what we're planning for, what we're shooting for goal-wise going forward starts tomorrow. And yesterday stopped yesterday. So where are we at right now in the middle? Like, what is tonight for? And tonight's about celebrating. It's about celebrating each other. It's about celebrating this organization. It's about celebrating the one thing that we start every team meeting off with, which is our wins. Yeah, every coaching call starts with wins. So we're going to start off with our wins tonight. So we're going to get vulnerable, so make sure you get a couple drinks in you so you're extra vulnerable later on after dinner. But we're going to celebrate wins right now. And I just want to say how proud I am of everybody in this group. Proud of the docs, proud of the staff, proud of the people that coach us up and make us better for it. So before we talk about all these awards, which I know you guys are anxiously awaiting who won these awards, I want to remind everybody in this room that that's not just a win for the doctor. It's a huge win for the staff. It's a huge win for their families. It's a huge win for the people that coach and build them up. So remember that when people are winning these awards, and remember that when you win these awards. So let's get started. Thank you for these cards. Okay, so the first award goes to the Attraction Award. And no, this has nothing to do with looks, Dr. Tom. This is the average monthly total leads. So this is a dead heat race. So the first place clinic was at 26 for an average, and the close second was 22. So I want to mention both these clinics. So a very, very, very close second with 22 is AlignLife at Simpsonville. So I want to give you guys a huge round of applause there. And our winner with 26 is AlignLife at Warsaw. Can we get the whole crew up here? Let's do it. Life 2, let's go. And if you would, talk for just a couple minutes or 30, 60 seconds about what this award is and how you think you get it.
Sure. Well, this is staff-driven too, and systems and procedures to get the leads. Just because, you know, when we follow the systems, you know, they're bringing their spouse in, and to the day 2, they're bringing the spouse in to get a check later on. This is because of them, and I can't think of enough for that.
Awesome.
Thank you. And then we're going to do get a picture. Did you get it?
Get together, girls. Move in.
Watch the light behind you. Hey, Tommy's single.
Congratulations. Another round of applause. 26. This one literally made me put the card down, read it again, put it down again, and read it a third time. So this is the conversion award. This is the average monthly new patient conversion. And it's 110%. Exactly. So that's probably a Dr. Cristina question, but we're going to roll with this anyway because that's a phenomenal number. Do you want to explain that real quick?
There's a glitch in the biologics.
Yeah, listen to him.
Three patients.
Well, it's a 12-month so
Okay, so I can handle this now, okay. So it's a 12-month rolling stat, which means it's an average of the 12 months. So basically what happened is that he converted more patients in 12 months than what came in the door, which is pretty awesome. So this award goes to AlignLife of East Stroudsburg. Nobody did 110%. Nobody did 100%. So tell us how you did it.
My staff did. My team. The team did it. You know, I told you we had some diamonds, and we're gonna polish them. We're gonna polish them. They're all polished. So I have to give it to my staff. That's
Yeah.
And you always got to look above. Instead of shoot for 100%, you got to hope for 150%. So you get that.
Great job, guys. 110%. Whole team award there. All right, and then these next two, unfortunately, these clinics couldn't be with us tonight, so make sure that you reach out to them privately or on Facebook or whatever and congratulate them. So our third award tonight is the Retention Award. So this is our average monthly patient visits. This number was at 103 in 1 month, and that award goes to AlignLife of Greenville East. So make sure you shout out to them. 103 in a month. Excellent. And the next one is the average monthly collections percent award. This is an amazing number. It's 96%.
Janet Carl.
96%. Think about that. My staff trains us like weekly. We're like trying to beat up this number, and man, I just look at that number, it's amazing. So 96%, AlignLife of Wauwatosa. All right, on to our fifth award. This is the Average Monthly Collections Award. So average monthly collections. This number is at 58,000 average monthly collections. It's a solid number. Come on, Kev, get up here. Let's go. The whole team, come on. You guys worked a whole year for this. This is what it's about.
Kevin's buying next round.
You know what? Let's do this right.
Valerie's at the front desk, so she can tell you about it if you want to process.
It's just keeping an open communication with those patients and making sure they're committed, we're holding them accountable, they're holding us accountable. Just the clarity for the patients, and they own it, we own it, end of story.
Wonderful job, guys. It's a great team right there. Okay, I have to ask the corporate staff, can I have a favorite award? Is that allowed? Can I have a favorite award that we give tonight? I'm going to do it. And if you don't like it, I probably won't be doing this next year. So this award is the Greatest Percent Growth Award. And when I first started, I've been in AlignLife, this is my 7th revolution. And when we started, and when I started, these awards seemed like insurmountable. They were like, man, if I could only get to that level, I could only get to that point. And this award is probably, at least for me, I can appreciate this award the most because it shows the beginning, and then it shows the growth, and then it shows that progression. And I can remember talking to this doc last year, and the conversation was, I don't know if I should get an OC or not. And I'm like, you, come here, we gotta talk to this guy. And we spent about 15, 20 minutes beating this up, and I'm very proud of this young man. This is 198% greatest percent of growth award. This goes to AlignLife and Youth Growth.
That explains back pain.
There you go.
I can't take too much credit for this. You know, I just am following what, you know, Dr. Cristina, Dr. Joe, just Dr. Kevin Day, just, you know, success leaves clues, and do what those, you know, do what those successful clinics have done, and, you know, just go to trainings, and I'm just doing what I'm told. I don't think I'm doing that good a job at it, so I got a lot more to go. So, thank you guys.
Okay, so those are our specific awards. We got some more that are going to come after dinner. If you heard awards tonight that you want to win next year, lean up on those people, talk to them, rub shoulders with them, beat it up tonight. Talk about how you want to get there. So, Kevin, let's talk now. So you guys have salads. Dinner should be coming around shortly, and then after dinner we will do some more awards and chat some more.
Okay. Speak up. Okay. All right, so we're going to do Clinic of the Year. So this is the big boy. So if everybody has their seat, we good?
So glad. Thank you so much for having me.
I love it. Okay, so I walked around the room. I think I saw every doctor drinking tonight. And when I went to the bathroom, there's a pool full of kids and moms. So I don't want anybody trying to build their pediatric practice tonight. That starts on Monday. No ideas here. So we're going to do clinic. Should it? Okay. All right, we'll transition. It's just literally to a left. We're going to follow the moms on that one, yeah. Say yes if you understand this. All right. We're going to do Clinic of the Year right now. So Dr. Joe, Dr. Cristina, the mass and the headship of this whole organization are going to present this award. It's a big award. So they're going to speak about that a little bit for Clinic of the Year.
Awesome. Excellent. You want to talk?
No.
How come she doesn't want to talk, Everett? All right, I got to speak. Ah, damn. No, just kidding. All right, well, this award obviously means a lot because this is raising, a high tide raises all boats. So as we move the organization forward, we're trying to bring the bell curve more towards the right. So we have to have leadership. We have to have those clinics that are striving for the upper echelon of their excellence and pushing themselves to the highest potential they can reach. So we're proud of many of the clinics that have reached many levels of growth over the last year. This is just showcasing the one that took the top of the mountain this year. So there are many clinics that have, like I said, have grown exponentially in percent growth over the year. So I think this is a night of celebrating everyone. But it's also time to celebrate those that reach some pinnacle. So this is the third year in a row, Dr. Day. So come on up. And give me a hug, bud. And as I said last year, I'll say the same thing because I feel the same way. He remains humble. I don't see many docs get to that level, and it's hard to hold that head up a little bit. but Kevin remains humble. He remains a student of the work, student of the profession, student of and a serving soul to help his community. So I haven't seen that change, and I told you last year, don't change it. But I do want people to try to knock him off of this mountain next year. Tom should not win any orthotic award again. 9 years in a row. Someone take him off of that. Now, I want you to push Kevin, because I don't want him to feel that he has a lot. He can double his potential. I know it, and I don't want you to get comfortable. I want to move, and let's move the whole tide forward. But thanks for your commitment to the profession, your community, your staff.
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, I wear a lot of hats in the organization, and there's nothing that makes it more worth it than the hat of coaching and engaging with all you guys that I work with, and being able to see you guys reach those goals and hit those successes. And that's what makes me wake up every morning and do what I do, because of all of you guys. So I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me that opportunity.
So this whole weekend was on team building, and that is 100% why I think that we're at the top. I mean, we have a team that's 100% dedicated to growing. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Louder?
It's just for the.
Oh, it's a team we have a team that's 100% dedicated towards growth, towards our mission of serving our community. And if you talk to any member of our staff throughout the weekend, I think they represent the mission of AlignLife, my mission, and the mission of chiropractic very, very well. If you speak to any of them. So I just, a testament to team building and why it's so valuable. I give them 100% credit of having the focus for doing that. And yeah, thank you.
And I will say, when you come to training, you bring the whole team. When you come to phase 2, you bring the whole team. When you come, your ship is full of of everyone on the ship together, and you travel together, and you work together, and you celebrate together. So I think, like we always say, success leaves clues. So I think it's time that people see that. So
yeah,
awesome.
Definitely. Your mind next year, Tom.
Real quick, I just wanted to take a second and just express my gratitude to everyone in this room tonight. As you guys know, we had a rough year last year, and it means a lot that you guys continue to show up and provide support for not only us, but for this mission that we're all after. So I appreciate you guys all, and thank you for your continued support. And there's 2 times in my life that I really stepped out of my box drastically. And ironically, those 2 times were 2 times that I went on a first date. And both times ended up being 2 of the best decisions of my life. The first one was when I inadvertently asked Dr. Susan Mitchell on a first date. I was new to the town. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends, just moved there. And I heard that she had a big pediatrics practice. And I had a patient that I had needed some cranial work, so I reached out to her, asking her for some advice, and she got back to me. And then I replied, and I was like, yeah, let me know if you ever want to get a beer sometime. And I hit send, and I'm like, I think I just asked her out on a date. Well, I did, and it ended up being one of the best dates of my life. Sorry, Tom, one of. Maybe it was the martinis, I don't know. But thank you, Susie, for always being like a sounding board for me and reminding me who I am and what I stand for. The second first date was with this guy, who when it was first scheduled, I completely canceled out of complete fear and being scared. Second time, I would have done the same thing if it wasn't for Susie, who was like, no, go, and kicked me out and made me go. But same thing, one of the best decisions, and thank you for always reminding me everything's going to be okay and taking all my stress away like that. I appreciate
You're gonna make me follow that. Okay. Should we go back to the mic or we stay here? Stay here? Okay. You wanna go? So, I mean, this is the point where we're gonna open it up to the room. We wanna hear success stories. We wanna hear goals hit. We wanna hear family achievements. We wanna hear wins. And this is the time where, you know, Dr. Joe talked to us about how important tonight is and how important it is to celebrate those wins. And if we don't do that together, we're doing them individually and then we're not strengthening the group. So please, if you don't feel comfortable, I'm not going to push you out of your comfort zone, but please start thinking about if you want to share. You're going to learn stuff.
And it could be setting aside the adversity from last year. Like, let's not carry it, guys. Let's put that aside. I got through this. If you want to use it as a gratitude for your staff, for your spouse, for chiropractic, you know, I'm just personally, I could start to set this off, but I'm just so gracious for this profession, what it's done for my life, just speaking the truth, knowing the truth, and being part of a journey that makes me feel that I'm doing the right thing for people, just makes me feel good every day, and to serve chiropractors just makes me whole. So I'm just gracious for this profession, and I want to thank chiropractic. So I think from there we can celebrate, and I want you to put aside yesterday and begin tomorrow with our lessons today. And sometimes you have to speak it to let it go, or you have to have gratitude for what happened. Too often we don't celebrate in life, because life is about the journey, not the destination, and we're all on the journey. We're on the journey together. So we're in the trenches together, we're learning together, we're celebrating together. And I just want us all to feel that from each other and be a little vulnerable so that we can move on to the next stage of life, which begins tomorrow. So, awesome.
Okay, so if we're going to speak about gratitude, you're coming up first in front of the whole room. Let's go.
Let's do Kelly.
So everybody here has a spouse, or they have a support structure that kicks it all off. And we've talked all weekend about where it starts, where it finishes. It always starts here with our two girls. It always ends here with our two girls. And you all have people like that in your life. And it's so important that you're here right now to see this, because you don't see this every day. And there are late nights, there are early mornings, there are times where you literally don't want to get it. But I hope tonight is an example of a higher purpose. And I appreciate your support. I appreciate the growth that went with that, from the beginning to the end. I've never made you come up here. Hey, talk about managing teams. Let it be seen, we're blue and black tonight. We are rocking it together.
That was not planned.
Yeah. So starting with my team is everything, and the one thing that I learned this weekend is that we are three amazing people, and I'm not managing them. Like, we're succeeding somehow because we're amazing people without systems in place. And I can't even imagine, like, if we have structure, what that's going to look like. So Maggie, we had a wonderful conversation in the truck home last night, and the one question I had was, I'm worried about, I'm like stressing you out, I'm going to push you too far, it's going to go too much. And you're like, no, like, I got this, I'm good. If anything, this is better than where I was. And I wanted to hear that. And then we wrap today, and like, you literally stand up, and Emily, you say, I want this piece, like, give it to me, I want to take it. And that's the stuff I need to hear, because I'm not that direct, forceful leader. So when you guys take that on, it just makes me, one, so happy. Two, it confirms that you guys are in the right place and that you're
on board and you're on mission with us, but 3, that what everybody's talking about this weekend in terms of the growth potential is real. It's not just a story that we're talking about. Like, I can see it and I can visualize it because all 3 of you guys are on the bus. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, everybody. Come on, Baker. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, I'm really just kind of speechless and overwhelmed with gratitude.
Just cry.
Yeah, if my wife was here, she had her baby shower. We're expecting our first child in 5 years. She's been a rock star and super patient with me. But yeah, it's just like I mentioned earlier. I couldn't have done anything without Dr. Cristina, Dr. Joe, Kevin Day, my accountability group, Neil and Etheridge, and then the corporate staff, Kevin and Carrie, Kurt, Amanda, Diane. You guys just, I know there's so much work that we have no idea that you guys put in everything, especially this weekend. And just everything that you guys do for us to better serve our communities, it's just awesome. So I just want to thank you guys so much. And it's just, this has been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, joining this family, and I just want to grow this profession, and just change healthcare.
Thanks, Dr. Ellie.
You're welcome.
Doesn't she look good?
Ellie, you get to pick the next person, Ellie.
So I'm really an introvert at heart, so this is awful for me. Just like my heart started pounding. So you remember when Steve was making everybody come up and close their eyes and talk about their vision for their practice? And everybody was talking about okay, first thing in the morning, all that. So for me, the vision is the end of the day. And so the end of the day is you look at the stats and you're amazed at how much you accomplished in that day. And for me, it's all about stability and what it does for my family. And, not having to worry about money. Sorry.
You got it, girl. Bear loves you.
Take your time.
Too big of the word.
Mike didn't do it, so
Because it's so hard, and being a part of a group that's so supportive and gives you the systems and everything that you can do it. And then when you start to see the growth and everything just accelerates and you're accomplishing what you want to accomplish and all those goals, it just means so much. And so as a woman, it's really hard to have it all, right? You want to have this wonderful job, and you want to have these kids. You want to do it all. And as far as I'm concerned, you can only do that if your husband is as wonderful. Sorry.
Get on up there with her. Where are you?
I'm just used to this thing.
Like literally, I could only take the time off from practicing if he was going to step into that role for me, I could only take the time away from the kids if he was going to step into that role for me. Whew, look, you came up here and I feel better. And it's just, so I guess the whole point of everything I just said is that I'm so grateful to him for being so wonderful. And I'm so grateful to you guys because you gave me this stability. And I used to stress out every single night thinking that we weren't going to be able to afford all the things we wanted for ourselves and our kids. And now we can. I know it's only going to get better. And it just means a lot because I feel like I'm me again. I'm back to being me. I was so stressed out for years. And now my hair's down. I have a dress on, so it's just important. So this is really embarrassing a little bit. Okay, I think I'm done. I think that was cool. Do you want to say anything? You don't have to cry.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of like go along with what she said, it's hard to be a business owner of any type. It's hard to like have the guts to go out and do it. And we were practicing and being chiropractors, but like under someone else. And when we wanted to pull the trigger, we knew like we could do so much more, but we also didn't have the confidence on business, on marketing, on, we were like, we're really good adjusters, maybe the best in the room, I don't know, but I'm just, you gotta be more than just a great adjuster. You gotta be able to talk, and you gotta be able to market, and you gotta be able to have all the systems and all the, just everything. So we were pretty blessed and extremely grateful for AlignLife and for Dr. Chelsea Sineth. Shout out, because she introduced us to all of you guys.
She seriously was just like, you should do AlignLife, and we were like, hey, like, how lucky are we that you guys were not crazy people?
I know. So.
Like, Steve Franson is with us.
I know.
No joke.
So just, we appreciate you all, and thank you very much.
All right, who's next? Love it.
Thank you. So I'm Dr. Matthew Lawrence. I don't own my own AlignLife practice yet. I will.
And you will succeed.
Thank you. I'm an associate with Dr. Deb and Dr. Joe. And 2 words we talked about earlier, like name a word that comes to mind, we would share later. And the 2 that came to me were inspired and then confirmation. So I'm inspired because every time I come here, I hang out with doctors that I see them go to phase 2 training, Revolution, and then every time they come back, they grew 10,000 a month. They went up 33% in conversion rates. So I know the training works, and I see people growing every time. So it inspires me to want to own my own practice and inspires me to eventually beat Kevin Day and knock him off the podium. So yeah, I'm inspired every time I come here, and then confirmation because I see the leaders like sitting at that table right now that this is the right place to be. I see the direction we're moving in, and it's just confirmed that this is the right place for me. So thank you.
And before anybody else speaks, to dovetail with that, and I asked permission to bring this up because I couldn't believe it the first time I heard it, but will you come up here and explain that whole transition that he's talking about? And if you don't do it, I will, so please. I literally had him say it, I had Jake say it 3 times before. I was like, let me make sure I'm hearing this right. So you want to hear gratitude and you want to hear about like growing the profession, then listen to that story. Please tell the whole story. Don't be like humble. Tell the whole story.
So, we have the opportunity to run a intern program with Life College, and so we usually have between 2 to 3 interns every quarter in our office, and we put a lot of time and energy into that program because when we got out, we didn't have mentors. Like we were a family of chiropractic. Like I'm the 11th one in my wife's family, and so you would assume that by having all these chiropractors around you that it would just be easy because that's what happened. Well, we got out and we took off, and the first month and a half we were seeing 110 people a week. I made $10,000 the first month. I thought I was rich, and then one night, literally, we had 6 parking spaces. We had no staff. There was people in the room, and the place was chaotic. And
It was just busy. Don't listen
to me, it was chaotic. And I looked at her, and I grabbed her from she was adjusting a patient. And I grabbed her and pulled her, and I went inside, and I said, look around. She goes, what? I said, look around. She's like, isn't this awesome? I was like, no. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We have a capacity problem, and we're in trouble. And that mindset took us from 110 to about 60 a week for 2 years. And I literally had a nervous breakdown. So bad when I called my father crying nonstop for 2 hours. He drove down 14 hours to come get me. He's like, what the hell's wrong with you? I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. Like, I physically can't do it. He's like, you could do anything. I said, I can't do this. I can't do it. And
You take your time.
yeah, I remember that pain. So, sorry. I promised myself that when I got the opportunity, I would teach. I would lead. And I would give what I didn't want to happen to us, because it took 4 years to get out of the hole. You know, when you're doing this and you find yourself in the hole, if you're 20 feet down, it takes 20 feet to get back up to get to neutral, and then you got to go 20 feet to get to success. That's 40 feet you got to jump to get to anywhere you're going. And we have the tools, we have the systems, we have the staff. Why go in the hole? Just come out and go. And so that's why I've dedicated my process to the interns. And I was an opportunity to get Dr. Matt to come in the office and, you know, recognize he's a great guy, great kid, great mind, and all those things. And so he came in, he interned, and he got done. And I said, look, man, do you want to hang out a little bit? He goes, yeah, I do. I said, okay, great, let's do it. So we hired him on, and his wife's he just graduated. And in that process, I said, what's your move? What's your next move? Like, what do you want to do? He goes, when I open my practice up with my wife. I said, okay, how are you going to do that? What do you have financially? What's the, like, AlignLife, like, where you want to go in? Yes or no? He's like, yes, I do. I said, great. So we started laying out the steps and the process to get to that point. And I said, how do I help this process? Like, how do I become part of this? And I said, look, why don't we do this? Here's what I'll do. Every time you go out and do a screening, an event, I'll do the event with you, whatever it is, any money that you take in from that event, it goes into an account. I don't want any of the money, right? Every time one of those people sign a care plan, I'll give you 1% of the care plan. So you just take that money, put it away. And I said, and after we hit a certain amount of money per month, I'll give you $750 a month, just put it in an account. So we did the numbers on it, and I did it like really like low end, like basic, as low as it could be. And at the end of the year, it's at the end of this like year and a half, it's low end, it's $39,000. And I said, and that'll go to the franchise. I'll pay for the franchise. So I think it's one thing to step up and lead. It's another thing to step up and actually take action to it. And for me and my wife, it's such an important thing for us because, you know, we're all in. That's it. We're all in. We're all in on the process. Like this will grow. This will be 100 times the size of it, and you'll look back and be like, remember when? You know, and I love these moments because they're memorable moments where they're in your head and they're anchored. And I'm taking every second of it in because I just want to look back in 10 years and be like, whew, remember that? Wasn't that awesome? You know, remember we were talking about this and that, and here it is. We did it, right? And I think it starts off with these kind of commitments and finding great young doctors like this that they just want to be great, you know what I mean? And they have the heart, they have the capacity, but they don't have either the means or the knowledge or the path to get there. And then we just come along and step next to them and say, look, we can help you. We can help you get to that place. And I got to tell you, like I said before, there is a lot of the people out there that need this leadership, that need all of us not only to step into that role, but to step up and make sure you grab them and pull them ahead, because the reality is they're drowning. They're drowning. And they don't have to. They don't need to. And so thanks for calling me up on this, but I hope that inspires some of you doctors out there, because I know that many of you want to do that, and many of you want to grab these doctors and pull them up. And the opportunity's there. Be creative with what you're doing. I mean, I was creative with this idea. And I know Dr. Matt is, in a year or so when he opens his own practice, I know everything in me in 2-3 years, Kevin Day and Tom Mercanti's in trouble, because I know it. You know what I mean? And I love that competition. So thank you so much.
So that's the ultimate definition of building a team. It's not just a team that you're around, it's the team of chiropractic. So I hope that the people that did know that story heard that story, and that shakes you to your core. That it's not just about helping your growth and your clinic's growth, but our profession's growth. So time to get after it. And now you won't forget that either, and you'll do the same thing, right? Okay. Who's next? Poor guy. Like, right? Who's next? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
She's got him. Hey, slow down. She's got him.
I got it. So, everybody kind of has heard my story. I am a nurse by trade, ER nurse for 10 years. I was at the back end of the pain. I was at the medicating end of the pain. I don't really believe in it. I never have. Probably never will. I was all about saving lives. That's why I did ER medicine. I wanted to be that person, saving that person's life and seeing them walk out that door. I did it for years, 10. Went to South Carolina, couldn't get my license. Why? Because I graduated from a foreign country, Puerto Rico. Hey, to my luck, and the Craigslist ad, I landed with Dr. Tom. And I have worked for the military. I have worked for private hospitals. I have worked for a dental office with a big corporation. And I have worked for the federal government. Never have I seen a company that is there for you like AlignLife is. Be it by support, be it, I was having problems trying to figure out our prosperity plan. And I get a call from Dr. Cristina to fix it. What other company will the president or CEO or COO of the company call you to help you personally to fix the problem in your office? None. Of all these companies that I've worked for, not once did a commander or did a director of the hospital come help me with my problem, help my department with our problem. In the ER, you're the redheaded stepchild. You generate the money, but nobody wants to help you. So low personnel, low education, low everything. When I put it on Facebook, and I hope all of you read my post, I don't do it to gloat. I do it to say thank you, because AlignLife literally is there every step of the way, and we have to build each other up. We are a communication system. I have reached out to Brittany when I can't figure something out, and she's there. She is there to answer my questions, because I had no idea what I was doing. I walked in to Dr. Mercanti's huge personality, to his micromanaging, to his details. And somehow he has let go, and he has let us run the office. Vanessa and I literally drag him along. Come on, let's go. And here I stand at day 14 of work, 14 days, and I love it. And I am thankful, and I appreciate every single piece of education that is given to us and the opportunity to do it. When we went to phase 2, I didn't even know Dr. Matt was an intern or an associate. I didn't know what it was. And I know he will be very successful. And I've told him various times this week. Dr. Clarino and Dr. Deb are two of the most amazing people that I have met in my life. The dedication that Dr. Cristina and Dr. Joe have to this company and to each and every one of us in it is remarkable. And I thank you guys for being there for us. It's great.
Anybody else? There he is. Get some, bud.
Do I gotta hold this thing?
Yeah, so they can hear you.
Okay. So you ask everybody to start drinking and lay their heart out. So might be a mistake with the country boys, but right. First off, thank you to my wife. Always been there for me, Rock. Love you. To Brittany, who stepped in, took over her role. You're going to realize your potential. You haven't gotten there, but you're going to realize what you're capable of. You know, I've heard you guys. We've talked about all of our success stories, and one of the things we talked about this weekend was, you know, what's your core value? What is it that you base your vision on? And a lot of things I heard was freedom, peace of mind, and it all related back to freedom for, like for Kevin Day, was to spend more time with his wife. For me, it was to spend more time with my children. But how many of you guys have sacrificed your freedom for somebody else? Because that's what our leaders have done. Joe, Cristina, you've sacrificed everything to build us up. Never doubt your vision, because people like Stephen Franson and Deb and Joe Clarino would not be in on this if it wasn't legit. What you're doing is great. And it's up to every single one of us to produce, to grow this business, to show that what they've sacrificed is not in vain.
Amen, brother.
Love you guys. That's it. Top that.
Come on. Camera should be back there right now. Anybody else? Let's get vulnerable.
Stepping up after that.
Can I ask one staff member of AlignLife to come up? We talk about the behind the scenes versus this weekend, seeing the people that appreciate you the most and that you're working for the most. Maybe somebody named Miss Riley.
Sounded like Lily wanted to do this.
Her daughter's sick.
Can we tag team it? Carrie, come up too. You can do it together. Come on.
So,
I'm keeping time.
oh, you're keeping time? Okay, go. So, I've been 20 years working hard. Grew up as a farm kid, so it's just kind of natural to put everything you have into everything. I'm in awe of everybody here. Most people don't know, like, talk about it a little bit, but not much. My daughter had seizures for a little bit. No one could figure out what it was. Luckily, my brother-in-law is an EMT, does medical training and stuff like that. He's actually saw one of one of her episodes at a family dinner. So Sunday dinner, 30, 40 people, she goes down. I love my family more than anything, and she's my princess. And I've never been a real doctor person. Grew up as a farmer. We didn't go to the doctor for anything, but was looking for answers. So Dr. Andrea looked at her. Within a few seconds, was like, her discs are shifted so bad in her first two that she goes, it's horrible. Within a week or two of Dr. Andrea working on her and working with her and giving her exercises, she hasn't had a single episode since then. So it's just one of those things where, I don't care about my own health. We know. Exactly. So, but yeah. Well, I take care of myself a lot better now than I ever have in my life. Dr. C and Dr. Joe, no matter how busy they are, the one thing you guys don't see is if any of us are hurting, all we have to do is just mention it. And they're hands-on, treating us. So no matter how crazy they're doing, they care about everybody around them. And it's just, just amazing to work there. I've worked in, 1,000-person companies. I've worked in, 10-people companies. And it's just amazing to be able to work with everybody. So thank you, and there you go, time limit.
So I think the point of us being up here was to talk about the behind the scenes of Revolution. But before that, I have to say that when I came to AlignLife 4.5 years ago now, I think this is my 5th Revolution. Within about 30 seconds, I knew that one of my main goals in life was going to be to take things off of their plates so that they could better serve all of you. They were juggling so much and trying to do so much to serve all of you, to serve the chiropractic mission, to serve their father's memory, to serve what was in their heart. And they were trying to do so much that I just wanted to say, okay, what piece can I take so that I can help this mission? I'm not ever going to be able to be a doctor. I don't have the brain capacity for it, but I can help you guys see more patients. So I was like, all right, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I have a little bit of organizational skills. I might be a little bit OCD about my time management. They do tease me a little bit about it. But if there's anything I can bring to them to help them serve you, that's what I did. That's what I wanted to do. And we're getting there. Our team has grown. I can't thank Cristina and Joe more for the opportunity that they gave me. They did set me up when they interviewed me. I just want everybody to know this. They called me in for my first interview, and I was on vacation, and I was dressed very professional. I worked in the automotive industry. I was doing a little hiatus in the service department of the automotive industry because I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was grown up. And came in all professional, and they were in jeans. I was like, what did I walk into? So then they called me in for a second interview, and I was like, well, I'm coming straight from work, so I'm going to be in khakis and a business polo or whatever. And they're like, it's fine, just come on in. They were in suits. So I was really freaking out. And then Laura, most of you guys met Laura. Laura gave me a book, and I thought, because I told her about how into natural health I was personally because of my son when he was younger, who most of you guys have met. He had antibiotic resistance when he was 2. And I researched and brought him back around and was so into it. And Laura brings me this book, and she's like, I think you should read this. It's called Chiropractic First. Great, they just gave me my parting gift. I'm not getting this job. Then they came back and offered me a job, and here I am. But there's so much behind the scenes that you guys literally, man, you could do it. Every one of you has the capacity to do it. If you can get a doctrine, you can do what we do. You can, but why would you when we can do it for you? The stress that goes into Revolution is not about the details of the meals. It's not about the schedule. I mean, it is, trust me, there's a lot of stress behind that, but it's really about making sure you guys get the value out of it. Making sure that you guys take away something from this to get fired back up. And then to come back in the next year and say, this is what happened to me this past year. To get Clinic of the Year 3 years in a row when we had to drag you kicking and screaming into the franchise to begin with. Okay, it wasn't like that, but I mean, we worked hard for Kevin, let's be real. But we love you guys so much, and it's a unique individual that is still on this mission with us. We talk about the adversity, and we're going to leave it behind tonight, but I have to say this one thing. Every single person in this room is on the same mission that we are on. I'm not a doctor, but I want you guys to accomplish the mission that you're trying to accomplish, because there's so many like-minded people in this room. Everybody wants the same thing. We want to change the face of healthcare. We want to save lives, and we want to do it the right way. And thank you guys. Like, really, thank you guys for giving me a purpose to help you. So, all of you, especially that little one right there hiding behind Tom. So, thank you, everybody. And one more little thank you to Jake Kazil for having faith in the marketing team, for listening to what they told you at training and saying invest early, invest strong, and keep going. And I'm glad that you did, and I'm glad that we were able to help you get where you are now. And we're going to save some more lives with you and all of you. Thank you, guys.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
something to say.
You already, I didn't even give me a chance to talk. You're like, I'm going.
Yeah,
I'm going.
I have something to say.
I love it.
You might want to turn the camera off because I sometimes have a potty mouth. But I will take 2 seconds and just say, as one of Christina's first dates, and I'm pretty sure I heard I was the best. Did you? Did you guys hear that? I heard that. But I don't know how many years we've been hanging out, but I can tell you I've never met anyone in my life that has more commitment. We traveled together, and she's up at 5 a.m. with her laptop. I'm laying in bed dying with a hangover, and she's working for you people. And we go to the beach, and she's leaving the beach to go work for you, and we're going home to get ready for dinner, and she's working for you. It's ridiculous. I'm constantly, as her friend, saying, dude, take a break. Like, eat an apple. Do something. She saw an article earlier that was like, you can get IV nutrition. And she was like, I don't have to stop working to eat. Like, I can, and she's not kidding. Like, I'm like, there has to be a service that I can send her food. Like, she doesn't eat because she's so committed to this mission and to all of you. So I've been in practice for 20-something, and I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn what you guys get handed to you. You get a manual, you get marketing, and I'm running around like, what should I do next? So I hope you appreciate the passion. I've joked with Joe where his vision and his mission, like, I get a migraine when we hang out because he's so passionate and so, like, full of ideas, and you guys have it at your fingertips. It's like one text or phone call away. So I hope you never take that for granted because it's amazing to watch. So thank you for letting me be part of it today.
Thank you. Watch those guys. What'd you say?
I said I'll take it and then you can close it. Sound good? So how many of you know exactly what you're going to do Monday morning? Now when you go back, right? We were just listing everything that we're going to change. We know how we're going to serve our patients better and our community better. Raise your hand. How many of you know someone who will benefit from joining this organization? I did this last year, and I want to see it again. Oh, come on, there's got to be more hands than that. Everyone knows someone that's not a part of this, right? So my challenge is the same as last year. Reach out to those people. You just came and learned so much information, an entire weekend worth of how to improve your efficiency with your team, how to improve chiropractic in your community, and therefore how to improve chiropractic worldwide.
And Joe Clarino, you said it best. You're like, AlignLife it's the best. We're hiding it. Why? I mean, again, we know exactly what we're going to do Monday morning because of the systems and procedures that they've put the blood, sweat, and tears into putting in place for us. So call your friends. I mean, those of you that raised your hand that know someone, call them. Let them in on this secret that AlignLife is as great as it is. Don't keep it a secret. Let everyone know. So I challenge every one of you to call those people on Monday. And 2 years ago it was that guy right there. He was one of them, and Chris Etheridge. So I hope all of you again can call him and bring him in. Thank you. Close it up.
The best close is one that's done for you, right, Kev? Thank you, man. So let's wrap this up. Let's hang out some more. We're not done, but the formality of it is, think about everything that everybody's talked about tonight. So if you're an OC that listened to a story that inspired you, let's get with that OC. Let's have a glass of wine and talk to them about it. If you're a doc that wants to see that growth and you heard that growth, let's get with them. If you know that you're not on point with some of the coaches that can take you to the next level, get with them. Like, let's hang out for a little bit. Nobody's going to kick us out of this room, I don't think, right? So let's stay here. Let's take it to the next level. So proud of all of you, very much. Proud of your mission, proud of your commitment, and happy to be here with you guys.
The feeling's mutual, right?
Thanks, Sam. Thanks.
Yeah.
We love you, man. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Brian for. I just want to say thank you to Brian for his. I don't know, this guy's heart and his being from the day I met him. I met him as an intern in a clinic, and he said he wanted to have his own clinic, and just his whole journey. I think of you how I think you're right behind Kevin Day in your footsteps. You're a humble man.
I'm not right behind him. I am right behind him.
Better be.
Yeah, you will be in front of him soon, I think, but I don't know.
How humble you were.
Hey, break the mold for half an hour. But no, seriously, I just think your heart's in the right place, and I know from the beginning you were always talking about the patients. Like, remember in the first couple of times we talked, it was about philosophy, and it was about subluxation. It was about, remember it was more like a musculoskeletal type thing, and it was like we had these debates, and he was very confident in his stance. I love that. It's just a student, and he was battling me. I'm like, I'm the CEO, dude. But he stood his ground as a student. He's just so strong and so powerful in his vision. I know he's carrying that. He lives in harmony with his family. He's always checking when we're talking. I want to spend that time with my family. It just meant so much the way you balance your lives. I love you. I appreciate you. And in closing, I do want to say, I want to give gratitude to. I have a hard time doing this, but I want to give gratitude to Cristina for. When I set out on this, I said I was always taught as a kid to live a mission bigger than yourself. And I always lived that way. None of my clinics had my name on it. I was never about myself. I didn't do this for my ego. But I hate lying. And I saw the lying in healthcare. I didn't realize it was like true. Like I'd call my dad and say, no, drugs are not really needed all the time. Like I didn't understand why they doing this to kids. Like I was this purity, like didn't understand as a grown man why people are doing this in healthcare. I didn't get it. And I remember, I made this vision and I wanted to make this come true. And I knew I couldn't do this alone. And I'm in Illinois. We're from New Jersey. Cristina wanted to live in New York City her whole life. And all of a sudden, one day, she pulls up and she said, I moved to Illinois. And she gave up her dream to live in New York City to join this mission. And I feel guilty, that she made that commitment. Sometimes I'm like, damn. And we struggled for years trying to get this going. I'm like, no, she should leave. But I couldn't have her leave because I couldn't pull this off. And I remember she was on a ship in the Middle East as a naval officer on a boat, and I sent her a testimony of a little girl, and you guys have heard it. I use the story a lot in the trainings. A little girl that was vomiting all the time for 11 years. And, we adjusted her for a month, and she never vomited again. Canceled her surgery at Mayo Clinic, and she sent me this big poster saying changing the life of a child, and wrote me this long letter a year after not vomiting, canceling surgery and whatnot. I sent it to Cristina, and she joined chiropractic school about a month after that, and said, if I could have one story written about me like that, it's worth more than anything I'm doing on this ship. So I want to just say, I love you, thank you.
Cristina.
And, next time I'll do that about another decade from now. But, and the last thing I want to say is guests, guys that are guests here that are part of the group, I love you guys, and you guys, I've met these people the last year, and just good people. Tabor, the rest of all of you guys, man. Chris, my buddy Tim, Susie, and everyone that's a guest. You're here because, we're congruent in what we believe about this profession. It's in your hearts, and I appreciate you guys spending this time with us. Thank you. Awesome. The dancing girls are coming in. We're gonna, disco balls coming down. So.